Can I get a slice and a parlay? Aisles and over?
Slice is easy. Parlay, forget it. Money lines and totals only. House rules. Here's your pepperoni. Tickets in the envelope.
Well, sir, did you get your money line fix in? Are you now content? Did you have to see for yourself? You see, let me tell you why I don't say Candyman in the mirror 5 times. There's an overwhelming 99.9999999% chance nothing's going to happen. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm just saying Candyman 5 times. But do you imagine on the 0.000000001% chance that there actually is a hooked Candyman who comes out and kills me? What was the upside? That I just said it in the mirror and what? I'm just going back to paying my AT&T bills and living my life. The downside is there's a hooked Candyman coming to kill me. I told you, you had to say Candyman in the mirror 5 times. You had to take a team that was 0-6 or 0-7 on their own home ice, shut out in 5 of their last 6 home games. No way they can score a bunch of goals, right? No way. It's just never going to happen. Oh, they proceed to score 6 goals. But what about the New Jersey Devils? Come on, they're undefeated on their own home ice. They're not losing to the New York. Oh. Now imagine you trying to parlay all of those on a nightly basis. Meanwhile, come over to my field, come over to my court, and we missed that one. Okay. Oh, we missed that one. Okay. Oh, we got this one. Oh, we got this Columbus combo. Oh, and we're up a little bit. That's all you have to do. We're not chasing impossible donkey lines. But I'm happy that it happened that way, Lester, because now you see why BetMGM doesn't allow you to put player props in their same game parlays. Now you see why Caesars, they had them in there and they go, yeah, no, we can't. We got to get these out of here. Get these point props out of here. We're removing them from the same game parlay. Now you see why I try to harp on these things every day until they're inevitably taken away. Because we've seen them get neutered on a bunch of sports books. One day they may just say, I don't care. They can curse us out all they want. They're gone. But until then, I'm going to be enjoying them right here with you on the channel, which you should be subscribed to. If you aren't already, make sure you do that. Yeah, this is the rare time I'm going to tell you to do those things early in the video. Maybe I'll bring it up again. But hey, you're enjoying these videos. You don't want to bet donkey lines. Do me a favor. Hit the like, comment something down below, whatever it may be. Candyman 4 times, but don't say it a 5th. And then obviously, if you're enjoying these videos and you want these videos to be seen by other people, you hit that hype button. I appreciate it. I don't know, it helps grow the vid. There's a Family Feud hype board somewhere where, I don't know. But click that hype button. It is greatly appreciated. And then I will do the best I can to break down this massive, it's a Tuesday, which means there are a ton of games, and it's no different. The beautiful thing is, when there are that many games, it's not like there are going to be that many more values. Whether there are 2 games or 10 games, I go down like Terminator style. Oh, that should be priced differently. That should be priced differently. That should be priced differently. And I got a couple of those for you, as always, on this slate. As we go later in the year, we're going to lose most of these. Notice, Caulfield, Suzuki, they're on this slate tonight. Can't take them. They're truly eliminated. Why? Because even though Suzuki used to be priced very highly, Caulfield was down. At least Caulfield used to drag it to a plus money. But now, since he's all the way up at minus 190, minus 200, it's over for them. So I want to tell you about a couple. They're probably on the way out. But I'm seeing one member of a combo that's mispriced that allows us to take it at a plus 115, plus 120, or something like that. Should I start with that? Let me start with some combos who in a couple of weeks we no longer will be able to take. The first one, this one is a classic. Adrian Kempe, Kempe Kopitar. Adrian Kempe north of minus 200, but Kopitar missed a couple of games. He's minus 130. If they go on a little run like they typically do, where they hit this in a couple of straight games, Kopitar will be minus 160, minus 170. We can no longer take this. But right now, you can take Kempe Kopitar against the roller hockey Montreal Canadiens, who, every single game they're scoring, they're conceding, and this is probably going to be another one of those. So give me Kempe and Kopitar for about plus 120 or plus 130 against the Montreal Canadiens. And then speaking of roller hockey type teams, we got the San Jose Sharks. Won a bunch of impressive games at home. Now, is That because other teams are going into San Jose playing the Sharks and they're getting their C-level mail-in effort? Probably. But now the Sharks are going on the road where they've been able to score. They've played very entertaining games on the road. They're going into Minnesota. We talked about Minnesota a little bit last week when I had to inform you, sadly, that Matt Zuccarello is a Norwegian and not a tri-state area Italian. But there's another guy, just like Kempe and Kopitar, where one member is priced minus 200, right around there. One is way lower for miscellaneous reasons, and just like Kopitar, this guy missed a couple of games, which is keeping his price down. But this is Power Play 1, Joel Eriksson-Ek, who plays with Boldy. This combo came through in the last game. I'm definitely expecting it to come through again. We're getting them at like plus 120 as well, just like Kempe and Kopitar, and it won't be that way in a couple of weeks. But while it is, I will take advantage of it, and it only is happening because Joel Eriksson-Ek is at a minus 130. Just like how, Lucas Raymond, when he came back from injury, it was like minus 135, then minus 150, and now it's creeping its way up all the way to where Dylan Larkin is. So while this Joel Eriksson-Ek point is relatively low, I mean, they're playing the San Jose Sharks, who you can score a ton against. And then in Carolina, we had a little line juggling last week, but now it seems relatively steady. The top line that they used toward the end of last year and in the playoffs, Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov, they've been coming through game after game since they've been put together. I think 3 straight games. All of them have points. They sent Ehlers down to the second line. That line's actually been playing well. But regardless, Andrei Svechnikov, because he had the early season struggles when they had him on the 4th line and they were just trying to find a spot for him, well, that built in a nice low price. We've been able to use him with Sebastian Aho, who's north of minus 200. Like, how is it possible? All these names I'm telling you, these two guys are playing together in all situations, 5-on-5 on the power play, and we get to get them at a decent price. If Svechnikov stays on this line for a month and a half, this price is going to be minus 180 before you know it. So that's another one where I'm going to take those two. You might not think anything of it, but I enjoy the ones who I know will be gone. Enjoy the kids before they leave the nest. These prices are all going to be leaving the nest with these 3 combos, so I'll enjoy them while they're around, and that's what I'll be doing for all 3 of those. Now let me talk about some individual player prop point values, and the first one is out there in St. Louis. St. Louis playing a little bit better after that whole debacle where they benched Kreider for a game, but then they shut out Buffalo. The vibes are better. They had Jake Neighbors DJing in practice. They got some of the lines that we were growing accustomed to before the Kreider benching together. So you have Thomas and Buchnevich. By the way, side note, that's another combo where you have one guy at like minus 190 and then Buchnevich at like minus 130. You can get them for a plus 120 as well. But I'm looking at the third guy, just that third wheel over there. Jimmy Snuggerud, who's on that top line with those two, on the top power play as well. And I think his point at plus 105 is a pretty solid value in this game against the Calgary Flames. I never get too excited that games that have the Flames involved are going to be these high-scoring affairs, but a good value is a good value, and I will take that on Jimmy Snuggerud of the St. Louis Blues. And I'm going to save the best one for last, so I'll skip the best one and go to, I believe, the last one, which is the Winnipeg Jets and the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks played a thriller against the Avalanche, which the Avalanche have been playing. We're starting to get to some of that ruckus Avalanche that we like to see. We'll talk about that in a second because that's a hell of a game that's going to be on the docket. But this game with the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets, Winnipeg, like Florida, went into San Jose, lost that game, and they went into Anaheim, lost that game. They're going to want to win this one. Oh, are you looking for those money lines?
Minus 135. You got it. Boom, there's your ticket.
Winnipeg on the road money line? Well, you can do that, and I will just look at their player props and say, oh, COL Perfetti missed the entire early portion of the season. Last game was his first game back. He is the 5th member of that top power play. Iafallo was in his spot only while he was gone. Now COL Perfetti is right back in there on that top power play. He's playing on the second line. I'm seeing Perfetti return to that top power play, which was a top 5 unit in the league last year when they were an elite power play. So if they get back to that elite form that they showed pretty much all of last year, then he's going to be involved. Do you think his point prop's going to remain at plus 125? No, that's not going to be the case. So I will take COL Perfetti for a point and an easy stack with a Josh Morrissey assist. And now let's go to that game that everyone's talking about. Two exciting teams. Now the power rankings will show you the Ducks all the way up there, but let's be honest. The Ducks are in a great early season run. They have some great young players. They'll eventually teeter out at some point throughout the middle of the year. But Tue-sday is an incredible goalie. So they actually have a good amount of ingredients because they have enough players who are young to carry the load, and then it allows guys like C.Kreider to just plop his ass in front of the net and start tipping pucks because he's playing with two elite playmakers and players. And I told you for years how good Troy Terry was. It was only a matter of time before he was going to break out here or somewhere else. You have him, Leo Carlsson, and C.Kreider plopping his ass in front of the net on that top line for Anaheim, who's been absolutely on fire. So you got to imagine their point prop is what? Minus 190, minus 180, and plus 110? That makes 0 sense at all. We got to take C.Kreider, point for plus 110. And then don't think I'm neglecting the other side of the puck. You know, Nathan MacKinnon with a casual, 8 points in his last 2 games. He's on absolute fire. I think this game has some, good built-up energy around it. Everybody's talking about Anaheim. Colorado really seems to be intent on having this year be a different year. It looks like they're destined to have that home ice in however many rounds of the playoffs. They don't want to be playing on the road in Dallas and all those situations. So they seem hell-bent on having one of those great years. And I think sending yet another message by beating the team who's beating everybody after destroying Edmonton. I think this game's going to be great. Nathan MacKinnon over 1.5 points. Well, what are you pricing this at your sports book?
Whoa. No props. Just money lines and totals.
Got it. No props at the pizzeria.
Gotcha. 6.5. Here's your slip.
But I'm pricing this minus 125, like what we got from Connor McDavid last night. MacKinnon with 8 points in his last 2 at home against an Anaheim team who's been winning. But let's be honest, they've been conceding goals. You could score on the Anaheim Ducks, albeit, like I said, Tue-sday is an incredible goalie. But I will take Nathan MacKinnon over 1.5 points. And this does seem like the game that has some potential ruckus where we can try some, fun. Let's have fun. Let's take those 2 guys, Nathan MacKinnon for 2 and C.Kreider for 2. That's plus 1,200. Let's take Leo Carlsson, who's on absolute fire. And Marty Necas. I'm a huge fan of him. Actually, no. Let's scratch Carlson. Let's take the 2 Andy guys who I've been telling you about for years. 2 for Necas, 2 for Terry, and that is what I have for you here on a Tuesday. 2 for him, 2 for you on a Tuesday. I'll be back with you tomorrow for the next round. Oh, it's Wednesday. I got to film Damon and Dan. I'm sorry. But if you need my Wednesday sniffs, they will be available as always, like they are every day on the Patreon. That's also where you can talk with the other sniffers who are putting 500 million parlay tickets on there. It's a good community. Hopefully I see you over there. If not, just do the free things here. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, click the notifications, and I'll see you on Thursday for the next round of NHL Sniffs. Take it easy and good luck.
Hey, can I parlay Sorokin saves with a goal scorer?
No props. Just money lines and totals.
All right, Isles plus 130 then.
Smart play.